All right. Hi, Cancer signs. Welcome to your April reading. I know I haven't done these in a really long time, so we've got some catching up to do, but I hope you're all well, and I really hope you resonate with this reading. Just before I started getting ready to record, I just started having some memories flooding in about my favorite Cancer sign. So I just want to story tell. So shout out to my best friend Cheyenne. I love you, Cheyenne. I have a lot of besties now. Thankfully, truly blessed. But yeah, Cheyenne is one of them. And my story is not so much a story, but more so a thought. It's a story and a thought. It's just like some different memories. And I just got reminded of it all over again the other month when me and Cheyenne were hanging out. And basically, so how this all came to my mind was that, like, my first thought was, like, just thinking about music. And then I was like, oh, stupid school systems always invalidating children, literally children, in their passion for music. I was like, yeah, I did not like so much going through school to play and learn music. And then I realized, like, I was like, but you know who didn't invalidate me throughout those years? Cheyenne. I was like, she actually really validated my worth as a musician. Um, and yeah, and then what reminded me of that months back was that, like, I think she was just like sharing a story about kind of part of how we became like good friends, which was mostly through band class. And she brought up saxophone and that, like, that I played really good, basically. And I wasn't, I didn't see that coming. It really took me off guard, and I was so flattered because I'm so used to people just like nonchalantly mentioning that I something about me and like it's nothing. But like when it got brought up, she like recognized and acknowledged my worth and my like talent, you could say, because I believe everyone is talented and has talents of their own. Um, so yeah, it just felt really good. So when it was the thumbnail taking time, I was like, oh, love. I was like, I love you guys. And I almost said, yeah, go ahead. This is pile 1, 2, or 3. Go to the timestamps, all that. But I'm like, wait a second. This is not that reading. So one moment. Okay. Oops. Hold on. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm like, for you guys, I'll pull a One Piece Oracle card. I did not pull a One Piece Oracle card for the previous readings. Not because I don't love all the other signs, but I was just playing it by ear. I'm mostly doing the same kind of format, like energy of April, and then splitting it into career and love. I really like those 3 topics because when you do like a general reading, you're like, okay, this is like the vibe. And then career and love are like kind of pretty specific, separate, like, topics that of course can connect because everything's connected, but it's like those are specific. And then it's like once you do all 3, you can kind of see how they overlap with the general energy and how the general energy is really incorporating both and incorporating it all. So yeah, let's look into it, Cancer signs. So, woo! This is just great already. Start of April, King of Cups and Six of Cups. So I feel like you're at a point in your life where you've really been able to take care of yourself emotionally. Your mental and emotional health um, has been really doing well here. So I feel like that's really, really good. Yeah. And potential reconciliation with a loved one. This is a deep connection. It doesn't matter what the bond is, if it's like a chemistry type of a thing, or if it's like a familial, like family type of a thing, or like friend. It really, it could be any or all of the above, or a combination. But the point is reconciliation with loved ones on an emotional level. So it's like getting some heart to hearts or getting some really good quality bonding time with your loved ones. Clarifying the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, and this is new. Like you haven't been able to do this in a while, or that for those of you, if this was like an old connection, this is like a rebirth of that connection. Um, it could be. It doesn't have to be a connection that's been on and off. It could just be like you've had a long lasting connection, and um, and you're just like getting a sudden spark or rebirth of that connection. Like, you've been like living your life, you've both been busy, whatever it is, it's so it's nothing too specific. It's more just like you're doing a lot of reconnecting at the start of April with loved ones. Um, yeah. Getting a fresh start with someone or with multiple people, but obviously each connection is important. So each time it'll be with someone. You know what I mean? I hope that made sense. Um, it's basically with everybody that you're forming these bonds with, but each person, that's like its own story to tell. It's like, yeah. So yeah, the middle of April, we are getting the Queen of okay, yeah, we're getting the Five of Pentacles and then the Queen of Pentacles. So that's so funny. It's like we definitely just got some very like love oriented themes at the very start with a little hint of Ace of Pentacles there, some Earth practicality. That's like a combination of the love and career readings that we're gonna do already. And then we just got straight up only Pentacles, and I'm wondering if this is Cups. It's not. It's more Pentacles actually. But I feel like the King of Cups is so strong that it's like carrying. It's like you're gonna be sitting on this seat, riding the waves, above the currents on a like stable platform or whatever, um, throughout the month. But yeah, it's really interesting that we got like Cups, and then it transitioned a little into the Earth energy, and now it's like all Earth energy. The Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is like saying like I feel like there's going to be a very sudden shift at this point. I feel like your financial situation is like you went from a place where it was like, okay, this is the start of a good thing for growth of finances. And then you get to a point of like, okay, this is usually where my finances start. Like, once I've saved this much, I usually would have to spend it right away on these expenses. Oh, but I don't have to do that anymore. I'm in this peaceful situation where I can just like hold on to my abundance, like I'm nurturing it, and like that I provide for it and that I can like let it grow more. You don't have to cut your manifestations short. You're seeing that what was happening before was that like you were planting seeds, and then the strawberry would start to grow, and it's like a small strawberry, just a little tiny strawberry. You're like, oh, it's ready, and you would have to pluck them to eat them for survival. But now that you have much more stability, you can like eat things while you watch the strawberries grow. So once they first grow a little bit, you don't have to just take it right away. And it grows, and it's like actually a giant sized strawberry, how it should be, you know? So that's happening with your finances. So it's like, I feel like throughout the last several years, or just throughout the past, I'm taking my own energy into account here because I'm a Cancer rising. So I can like kind of do a timestamp here. Aries, Cancer, and Pisces are the ones that I can probably be more like, it's like this. Because I'm relating, honestly. But it doesn't have to be my time frame. Your time frame might be similar in like somewhat different periods. Like, oh, Sansamushi was at that point for 2 years. I was like at that point for 2.5 years. It's like similar enough. But anyways, so maybe over the last several years, or for like however long, it's like you always had to like do that. You always had to spend whatever you earned. That's always a scarcity. It really sucks, and it's really not anyone's fault when that's happening. Um, and at this point on your journey, I'm sure you know that. But anyways, yeah, you're able to like let it grow. And then with the Eight of Pentacles, that's how I really solidified that message, where I'm like, oh, definitely. So the Eight of Pentacles is a card of infinity. So, yeah. Oh, don't know if I shared my whole story, but basically over the last few years, like, I would get some growth of finances, but I'd always have to, like, spend it on specific things. Now I'm at a point where, like, I have to really get a certain amount. It's like a lot higher than whatever I needed before, because before it was just like survival and these were the expenses. Now it's like kind of the same. I'm kind of combining um different like journeys, like me and my friend, like sort of different paths, but like I don't know, I swear there's like overlapping things going on here. I don't know how to explain it. um just trust me on this, Cancer. I really hope that this is like resonating and that this is kind of the vibe. I feel like you can relate, Cancer, to like always having to like support everyone. And it always going like this struggling Five of Cups, or Five of Pentacles, but you never seem to quite make it past that. You might make it to a Six of Pentacles that divides all your finances back into like a balanced scale, you know? Like the Six of Pentacles is kind of like that. It's like it goes forward, oh, to a water spout that like has the coins fall out from two different faucets that go onto two different scales, or the two different sides of one scale. If any of you know the Six of Pentacles card, where there's a person holding these scales with coins on one side and like, I don't know, a feather, maybe more coins on the other. But that's basically the card though. So it's like, even if you make it to the Six of Pentacles, it feels like back at the Ace/Two of Pentacles all over, you know? So I feel like you all know what I'm talking about. Like 2 steps forward, like 1.999 steps back, or 5 steps back. Like it might be more steps back and forwards, like over the last several years or something, how it had felt. But the fact that you persevered through it all, now you've kind of like leapt really far ahead. And it was like people were judging you harshly for nothing, right? Like everything turned out okay. So why do people have to make you feel bad about where you are at in life? They're just so judgmental. They think they know the answer is what I'm getting. Not like channeling, but I mean like just what I'm getting. Like I just thought of like why, and I'm like getting it right now. I'm like, oh, they really think it's like I do that a lot. Like I'm playing a video game and it seems really simple, and I'll watch someone struggle and I'm like, it's so simple. You just do this. Why aren't you getting it? You know, like that moment in TV when you hear a character do that and you're like, oh, how could you say that? But then the character usually has remorse later or whatever. Some characters don't, but you know, anyways, Yeah. We're just gonna move forward. This should hopefully all make sense. It's the end of April. We've got the, hold on, it's like this: the Five of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Wow. Yeah, that energy I described about when you go from 5, but instead of moving forward, you feel like you start all the way back over at square one. I probably didn't say all those words out loud, but those were the thoughts I was trying to put into words earlier. And because the cards came out exactly how I visualized them, I don't know. That's really cool. Like, how did I know? I don't. And the two of wands. I swear, I wasn't even looking at that. Um, I was just so excited about this part. But like, do you guys remember me saying that? I was like, the Five of Pentacles, and then at best you go to the Six of Pentacles, but it just pours it back out to like an Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, because like one or two sides of the scale, you know, like. And then we got all of that. We got the Five of Wands, Ace of Wands, and then the Two of Wands. I don't know. I feel euphoric right now. I'm like, this is such a better feeling than. Oh, and it's 1:11 a.m. right now. And I hadn't checked the clock since like, I don't know, 25 minutes ago or something. Like before I even started this video. So like I had forgotten about the time. And the only time I checked the time was right at 1:11. So cool. But anyways, what does this all mean? I don't know. Other than like, I feel really more solid about the whole reading now. At the end of the month is feeling a little bit that way spiritually and energetically. It's like you see how this is going to work, but you still feel like you have more energy to build up. Like your body needs a lot of rest, and I feel like I need to keep watching this one anime because this one character, like, she's so powerful, but she's like, her body is very, very fragile and she's tired all the time, and you kind of assume that she's gonna somehow like get all healthy and everything later on somehow. Like, she's not supposed, oh, I don't want to spoil it. It's very early in the series, but like, it's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it without spoiling. I'm sorry. So the anime, I won't even sugarcoat when I spoil. Okay, so the anime is called The Magus's Bride, or Magus. I don't know. It's like a mage, Magus, and then an apostrophe at the end, like the Magus's Bride. Anyways, it's so good, and the character very early, you kind of just know. You can kind of tell. Like, it feels like, I don't know. She's basically trying to be like a curse, so to speak. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep watching that because I just get the feeling it's gonna go well for her. I'm optimistic about it all, and it might help overcome this kind of feeling. The Five of Wands going to Ace of Wands instead of like right away to like something more where you're like, you know, like, I feel like sometimes people think like working out and like bodybuilding, for example, that it's all like a linear progress. But like back when I actually did do exercise, and that was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. I would go on these runs every day or whatever, or however, whenever I wanted to, really. And some days I was timing myself. I'm not all that competitive with people. I'm just, for myself, I want to be like a god. I want to be like Gear 20 Luffy, you know, like super powerful OP anime character, you know? So some days my times would be so much faster, ahead by like 5 whole minutes. And then like you'll see, not just necessarily the next day, because like that makes sense because you're tired or whatever, but like literally later on, after like resting for a while, that it just keeps being that way. Or like even if you stop, it's like, it's all kind of like a really, it's like, it's like plants, you know, like when you water plants and they like generally can thrive, but like also like that takes a lot to actually do the thriving. Like people think, haha, it's so silly. Like, you just give the plants nutrients and then like give it all the proper conditions and you'll make it grow super well. It's like, that's still really hard work for the plant. Like, this plant that was just a seed that does contain all the world's knowledge to create itself, to sprout life and to do its thing, keep growing as it grows into all the different parts of itself, like as if it knows what the whole picture is supposed to be. You know, it's got a picture of itself in the seed, in stored as information, you know? And then like I don't know, you can kind of just see how that's like a fight for survival, right? Like a seed, a little seedling doing all that. All the support really helps, but it's the seed that's doing the magic, and you get to witness the magic because of that seed's existence. So think of that seed as you, and think of all those supports and things as the good people you're welcoming into your life, the truly supportive loved ones, the like opportunities that give you real support, energy, money, happiness, entertainment, and so forth. You know, it's like, maybe you might think it's all thanks to those things that gave you the love and support you needed to grow, but you're still the seedling that decided to grow. You're still the seedling that kept that picture of what you're supposed to do, who you're supposed to be, what it's all supposed to look like, what you want it to be. And it's like, you're literally just like the plant, creating all these features as you keep like growing. Your like whole body is literally transforming because you're like, I can do magic. And this is like, I know that this can be like kind of like a triggering imagery or keywords in terms of like self-image, body image, things along those lines. Um, but like, that's basically not what I mean by any of this, because yeah, I just have to be clear about that. Not because I think you guys like will take it like in a bad way, but because I know that even if it's just 2 or 3 viewers out there, I know that in a public audience setting, that there are a lot of like specific like public figures and commenters, spectators out there that will take any opportunity to body shame, and like leave like a hateful comment. So this is just kind of like me taking a stand with that and like just explaining that if I ever see a comment like that, I am taking it down. Yeah. Because, yeah, my channel, my rules. Toxicity is a no-go. But I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm just trying to like reassure you that this is not necessarily something to be stressed about, because you're like, I feel like if you were able to do that with real life, yeah, with if you're able to do that 5 of Pentacles going down to Ace and 2 of Pentacles for years in life, I'm sure that with that much more stable now, this part of your journey that this happens at, where you were getting somewhere and then it goes back to like, it's like you birthed out the first petal and now you have to start over and create the next petal and then the next petal. And then once you do that, each step of the way, even when you get to the bigger stuff, like, oh, now it's the flower part, oh, now it's the actual fruit part, like all of these are like significantly bigger steps than the previous. But no matter how big the plant gets, each of those next steps, it's always going to be slow and like having to do it all. Like, you know? So it's like, I'm getting like, for example, like with love life, or when like you get left on red, I'm just like talking about myself at that point. Or like, just like when people aren't able to always be there for you, or when you just can't always be there for yourself, or if you just don't always have the energy to do all these things and live life, you know, there's days where I feel like this is just like, it's okay. I feel like everyone deserves these days. We of course deserve to feel better, but like, wow, we all deserve to take a rest if this is how we're feeling, you know? But everyone has those days. I'm thinking of Hannah Montana now, but everyone has those days where you're so tired. Sometimes you don't know why. Sometimes you kind of do know why, but you're also like, also, I don't get it. Like, I really need to be doing things right now. Like, oh no. It's like that moment where you feel like just resting or like nothing's happening. It could be one, the other, or it, they're connected. It's like sometimes things are happening and then you feel motivated to do stuff. So like I'll be talking with people and I'm getting amped up and then they're all of a sudden they all are gone. And then I'm like, that was my stability that was helping me encourage myself to do the other productive things because I know my day to day is me all the time. And I'm trying to keep myself company and like live my life. So it's like when I have things going on with my like loved ones and stuff, uh, whoever I'm obsessing over in that instant. The truth is, I think any person that I'm giving time, I'm choosing to put a little bit of I'm obsessed. Like I love it. Like the show is so good. I'm obsessed. It's like I just like taking back the word obsessed and making it into a good thing instead of a bad thing because so much out there and so many accurate, you could say, examples of how obsession can go wrong. But those are specific people that have like so many other things like lack of accountability, like enjoying like bringing misfortune to others. Like there's so many different personality traits that like all get associated with the word obsession and makes people worry, oh no, if I am obsessed with something, people are going to think I'm dangerous. It's like a bad stigma. And as much as there is a shadow side to obsession, again, I like to eradicate stigma. So, sorry, the word choice, but I really, you know what I'm saying? Like, just bad reps on words and stuff like that. Like, ones that, like, I don't know, that where to the point where it's doing more harm than good, So, anyways. What I'm getting at is at the end of the, not the end of the reading, at the end of the month for you, Cancer, this process isn't going to be as end of the world or stressful as it had been in the past for some of you. Others of you are just like a different personality type than me, perhaps. And like it was maybe stressful, but you were generally still quite okay. But like not okay. um, but yeah, what am I trying to say? Yeah, so basically, like some of you might handle it differently, so that like you're already kind of like content with this energy, um, and everything. But yeah, I hope you all get what I'm kind of getting at here. That like something like that is going on, but it's no longer so stressful because your finances are in a much better place. So I feel like I honestly could have said all of that in like 5 minutes, but I just had so many funny thoughts and stories and visualizations to share. Yeah, so cool. Okay. Um, so I feel like we honestly don't really need to split up the reading into a love reading and a career reading because I feel like this is pretty solid. Well, some of you out there will be like, dang it, but I really wanted one. I don't know. So I don't know because it's like all the other signs got to do 3 separate readings. So we'll see. I'll just try and go like pick up the pace. I don't know. So again, clarifying more of the beginning of the month, some solid themes is 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups, friendship, love, and positivity. I feel like, yeah. So these are some really good focuses and major concepts in the beginning of the month, which again, we got that with the King of Cups and the 6 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, like reconnecting. and it going well for you, Cancer sign. I feel like some of you were like, yes, I get that we're trying to reconnect, but do we? If any of you have that anxiety, this is like, you do. With the ones that it's going to be with true love and true friends. Yeah, so that's really cool. More towards the end of the month, major themes: Two of Wands, Ten of Swords, Pulsar, and Earth, Fire, Air, and all the other. Just like how I was talking about in the middle of the month, where it goes more practical because you're just like in such a better place internally, emotionally. But yeah, then at the end of the month, I feel like you will have some, like, you'll be reflecting on this month and how much things have changed. And you're no longer in this Ten of Swords energy. You can finally, like, put it behind you. And you kind of, like, when you think back to, you're like, wow, I'm glad I'm not there anymore. But wow, I remember that time. That was rough. Like, that was just, like, recently before. But now it's, like, never like that anymore. Something like that. So you've made it out of a really bad situation. And you're in a really good situation where you can put it behind you once and for all. So that is absolutely amazing. Okay, since no one else got, I know I'm jumping really fast, but my thoughts, they're just, I don't know. It's just coming to me really quickly. This really gave me energy, you guys. Thank you so much for anyone who watches these. Thank you to myself. For those of you who know, I've been making these videos to myself start of 2018, back when I truly never imagined anyone would actually find my videos. So I really was just talking to myself for myself. But yeah, I don't remember what I was really saying. I remember thanking you, and then I was like talking about myself. But anyways, my point is, since all the other readings didn't get these One Piece cards, but got the love and career reading, you're going to get your love and career reading, but just with these One Piece cards. I also might bend the rules and add more cards. But this is the career message. Well, I feel like we're doing love and then career. Well, let's balance it out. So yeah, this is your career message. 22, January 22nd, so number 22. Card number 3, respect. I'm sorry, you can't read it, but maybe you can see the picture. It's like, wow, respect. Like, it doesn't matter what people's opinions of you are at this point. Like, you got the power. It's like all those people that made you feel bad and like you couldn't do it, you're now at this point where even if they were saying that now, you would almost laugh because you're like, you're saying I couldn't do it like this, but I did. And what was that hate even for? So it's just like, I don't know. A lot of times in this series, there's like commentators, these characters that like you can just tell are not gonna be in the next episode because they're just like random like citizens or crew members of like some whatever pirate crew. Like they're I'm trying not to say it harshly because this would be referring to real life people at this point, but basically just like those characters that are like, they're called fodder characters, as in like they fill the space, but they're not going to play a role after that really. And some characters always could because story writers can write characters in any way, you know? But anyways, a lot of the times there's like these characters that if they're like mocking Luffy in the fight, like he's no match for our captain. It's like, you're no match for him. Why are you even, So respect. So yeah, beginning of the month, or no, we're not doing that anymore. Sorry. Your love reading, or or is it career? I don't know. I'm so sorry, you guys. That does happen sometimes that's why I'd like to decide before I start picking cards up. Oftentimes I lay the cards out and then I decide later. So I decided through all of this what these were, but I didn't decide and make up my mind before taking this card. I mean, I changed my mind because at the beginning I was like, love or career love, but we're doing love and then career. So I'm so sorry. This is your love reading. It's both. I'm so sorry. Just work with me here. Let's just look at the next card. I'll just tell them both. How about that? This is February 18th, and it's card number 44. Never giving up. Success against any and all odds. So yeah, I would say this is your career message. And that's exactly what I was just talking about. You see how and they're both Luffy cards, so it makes sense that these cards were able to connect so easily, both about Luffy. So I was talking about those people that haters gonna hate, but you're or the people who said you couldn't do it, but now you made it. So it's they're no longer getting in your head about it because you're you can just kind of tell they don't know what they're talking about, And then this said success against any and all odds. Again, success against, despite the fact that there are people perhaps saying you couldn't do it, or judging you, or maybe they're you could do it, but that's whatever. That looks like this. That looks like that. Some people laugh at the way Luffy wins. He'll do a funny move where he fills himself up with water and he's like, I'm water Luffy. And it's really hard to take him seriously. It's really funny, but he's being serious, and that plays a role in winning the battle in the end. So yeah, success against any and all odds. I don't know. So those are your oracle messages. Take what you will. Yeah, I did my best. So I love you all, and I hope you do have a fantastic month, and I'll talk to you all later. Take care.